What is up, guys? Smash Bros. Pro 33 here, bringing you another Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle, and I only have 30 seconds for this team preview because I'm doing 30-second team preview day today. This is an OU match against PuddlesA1, and threats on his team look like the Excadrill, the Aegislash, and the Mamoswine, and also that Mega Lucario in his back pocket. And on my side of the field, I'm showcasing today my Talonflame, Sceptile, Tornadus T, and Sylveon, along with my good old Munchies, my Mega Garchomp, and I've also brought my Vaporeon. And we'll see how this match goes, because I'm not sure how this match is going to go. JK, I know. But let's see how it goes, shall we? So Anthony is issuing that challenge against the one, the only Smash Bros. Pro 33 you guys all know and love. He's going to decide to lead with the Mamoswine, and I am going to lead with my Tornadus T because I outspeed pretty much everything on his team, barring like Scarfed Raichu or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to go for U-turn, break the potential Focus Sash on the Mamoswine because that's what most lead Mamoswine tend to carry. Set up the rocks. You do the Focus Sash thing and then die. So I'm gonna go into Mermaid Man here because Mermaid Man shuts down Mamoswine in every single way, shape, and form, unless they carry the Freeze Dry, which is really cool. I have seen Freeze Dry on Mamoswine before, but I don't think that this one carries it. So he's gonna go into Rotom here, expecting me to go for the Scald or the Wish or the Protect or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna go for the Scald, and I don't get the burn, which is okay, but this Rotom is gonna be sticking around for a little while. So what I'm gonna do is go into Sprinkles here, and I want to Toxic this thing or whatever I want to do to it because I feel like Sprinkles can take it on a little better. But he's gonna go for the Will-O-Wisp here. That's perfectly fine because I have the Lumberry. Because I don't have a second set of leftovers during the time of this battle, but I do have 2 sets of leftovers. Thanks to do a fight, I need to get some more leftovers. And in comes the Raichu now. I'm just going to go for the Toxic on whatever wants to come in. If that's the case, that is the Raichu. Raichu can't do too much to Sylveon because Raichu, being an electric type, doesn't carry much to hit Sylveon with. And Raichu's move pool isn't that great, honestly. I think it just gets like Focus Blast, Thunderbolt, HP Ice is the general set. Maybe with Grass Knot as well, but I'm going to go for the Dazzling Gleam, and that does a good half to the Raichu, and I'm not invested in any way, shape, or form. But he's going to go for a T-Bolt here at +2. Sylveon takes it pretty darn well, and I'm going to set up a Wish here. You know what's coming. Wish Protect shenanigans the whole way across the board. So I'm going to go for Set Protect. Not only is Sylveon going to get all that yummy HP back, but also Raichu is going to die off to the toxic damage, I believe, on this turn, which is great, but that means he gets a free switch into whatever he wants to take care of my Sylveon. In that case, he's going to go into Lucario here, and I'm thinking maybe he's physical, maybe he just wants to go for Bullet Punch and try to KO. And in comes Mega Lucario because, I mean, why else would you run a Lucario? Because Mega Luke is, I think, better in every way, shape, and form. But he turns out to be a special set, and because this is a physically defensive Sylveon, there's no way I'm going to be living that hit in any way. Adaptability, Flash Cannon from a Mega Lucario, let's be serious. So I'm going to bring in the Hot Chick here. And I know I can not only take a Mega Lucario's hit, but I can go for the Roost and get back up to full because I don't have a Rapid Spinner and I need to keep Talonflame as healthy as possible. So what I'm going to be doing here is go for the Roost, like I said earlier. And I could go for some bulk ups here, but I mean, my Dual Stab is resisted. But I'm just glad that I got my Talonflame's HP back up to full, which means I can switch in again because I can only switch in once because I have an even amount of HP. So I'm going to bring in Kamar here, the big old Sceptile, as he decides to go for the Volt Switch. And that's no big deal. I feel like Sceptile can take on most of his team pretty well. This is Choice Specs, like I stated earlier. And he's going to go into Mamoswine here. And Ice Shard is coming my way. I am 99.999% sure. So I'm going to go into Mermaid Man to tank the hit like it's nothing, because it is nothing to a Vaporeon. Because Vaporeon is just that bulky. And look at that, that was pitiful damage. It was maybe like 10-15 damage. Oh my god, I'm actually on a roll here right now. So Mermaid Man's going to get a little bit of HP recovery, and Mamoswine is going to get out of there because it doesn't want to take a Scald. It's going to go back out into Rotom, which isn't a bad thing because I can just get up the Wish, pass it to whatever I want. It could be the Talonflame if he decides to go for a Will-O-Wisp, but I'm really not inclined to take that chance because he does have the Dual Stab that is super effective to my Talonflame's typing. So What I'm going to do instead is go into Kamar here, knowing I can take any hit that this Rotom wants to throw at me and get all that HP back. As he decides to go for the Will-O-Wisp here, that's perfectly fine. Sceptile doesn't mind being burned because it is a special attacker, and that is good for me. So I can go for the Leaf Storm, I can go for the Energy Ball, and I could go for the Focus Miss, I do believe, but in comes the Aegislash here. I decide to go for the Leaf Storm, and that's gonna do not as much as I had hoped, considering this suspects Sceptile, but then again, Aegislash does have that base 150 defense in that shield form, and I really don't have any business staying in because I'm choice locked in the Leaf Storm, -2 special attack. It's a losing battle. So what I'm going to do is go into Mermaid Man once again, physically defensive. I am not too scared of this thing with Vaporeon because Vaporeon is super fat, can take the hits for days. As he decides to just go straight for the attack, but turns out that this one is mixed like most Aegislashes are these days, and that Shadow Ball is most likely a 2-hit KO because it is hitting my Vaporeon's weaker side of defense as it is invested. So that's not very good for me, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the Wish in his face. He decides to go for another Shadow Ball. He doesn't want to play any games. I could have went for Scald, going for the Burn, but I was thinking maybe the King Shield would do as the more appropriate play for him. But as it stands, he does go for the Shadow Ball here, and actually turns out that it's not a 2-hit KO from that range of health, so I can go for the Protect, get my HP back. And I'm not too scared of this Aegislash now because I know I can just keep Wish Protecting and Scalding when I need to. I would love to be able to get a burn on this thing, which is great on any Aegislash, honestly, because Aegislash is a big problem to anybody's team that isn't prepared for it. So I'm just going to go out for the Scald here. I know Shadow Ball isn't going to KO, and I do manage to get the burn, which is lovely. But even though the Shadow Ball is a special attack, it doesn't affect it by the burn. It doesn't quite look like a 2-hit KO, maybe just missing out on it, because Mermaid Man does have that nice fat HP with 14 HP. Recover 14 times 16 is roughly 226. I don't know. 14 times 16. Someone want to do the math for me real quick while I'm narrating? Probably not, but I'm going to go for the Protect here just to get a little more HP back, to ensure that the Shadow Ball will not KO from that range, and also stack up a little more burn damage, make sure that Scald is a KO from that range of HP that the Aegislash is at, which is great. But Puddles is a smart player. He is going to go into the shield form here because going for the Scald was a pretty obvious play. And why did I go for Wish again? I don't even remember why I went for Wish. I don't know if I was predicting the King Shield to try and get his defenses back up, but if that's the case, then that was a good move on my part, because that means now that his Aegislash is kind of in a pickle right now. And so I can pretty much say that his Aegislash is screwed from this point on, but he's going to actually end up trying to preserve the Aegislash, and he goes out to Lucario here, which is a questionable play. I mean, I know he's a special attacker because he revealed to me that he had the Flash Cannon. So I don't know what that was about, but he's going to go for the Nasty Plot here. Very, very ballsy move on his part, because I know I can go for Scald, get the burn, and possibly KO him from the range of HP that he's at with the burn. And that actually does happen. And I know that was a bit unfortunate on Puddles' part, but honestly, with Vaporeon around, I know I can take any one hit, even if the Lucario is at +2, unless maybe I run some calcs. I'll probably put a calc of the Aura Sphere at +2 up on the top of the screen. So anyway, I'm going to bring in Kamar here because the burn, the Will-O-Wisp, Rotom comes in, blah. Rotom's walled by grass types. So what I'm going to do here is go for the Energy Ball because I don't want the special attack drop from the Leaf Storm. And actually, I needed the burn to KO the Aegislash. That special defense drop was completely unnecessary, but just a little tiny bit more sodium in the wound. That's perfectly fine. The salt is real. And Aegislash goes down here, so that's fine with me. Aegis Slash is a big threat. So in comes the Mamoswine here, and I'm 99.99999% sure the Ice Shard is coming my way, but I can't really do too much about it. I don't want to bring in Vaporeon in case he has the Freeze Dry, but I kind of wanted to sack Sceptile because he did his job. He took out the Rotom, I do believe, and he did a good amount of work. He took out Aegis Slash, that's nice. So he ends up getting a crit on this Earthquake here, and that kind of bugged me, but then again, hacks for hacks, it's perfectly fine, it's a good game. And Skull just clean one-shots the Mamoswine because Vaporeon has a nice special attack stat. Even when it's uninvested, I probably should make an offensive one sooner or later. So in comes the Excadrill here, and I want to pop the balloon with Scald if he decides to go for, I don't know. If he wanted to go for a Rapid Spin thinking I had Rocks up, but anyway, I'm just gonna let him KO me with the Earthquake. I couldn't think of the name for some reason, but I know that I can take down his Excadrill with my Talonflame. Flare Blitz, I love the animation, and Talonflame, the hot chick, just is going in. Taking out the Excadrill in one shot easily. I believe I'm running Life Orb as well, and I end up living all that recoil on 1 HP, which means I can get off a priority Roost, and if you wanted to Volt Switch, that means I lose my Flying typing, and I can live the hit, more likely than not, and be able to Roost up some more, or whatever I want to do. I want to go out on the offense, but turns out this Rotom scores a crit. I'm not sure if that mattered, because Talonflame is pretty frail, but gives me a free switch into the Man of the Hour, Munchies the Mega Garchomp. And I love this thing. This, as you can tell by the HP count, this is a bulky Chomp. And max HP, max attack Mega Chomp does not play games. Very, very, very bulky Pokemon. And that Dragon Claw does a nice, like, 55%. So I'm assuming that this is a bulky Resto Chesto something Rotom Wash. And what I'm going to do is I believe I'm going to go for another Dragon Claw. And that is not going to KO because this thing is burned. And while it looks like my Garchomp is slightly screwed from the burn, I do carry the Swords Dance because SD Mega Chomp destroys all the lives in the world. And he is the Resto Chesto like I asked, like I predicted earlier. And I'm just going to keep spamming Dragon Claw. I'm not sure why. I really don't know why I keep going for Dragon Claw, but he goes for Hydro Pump and misses, and now that was actually a fairly crucial miss, because what I should have done, I should have set up a Swords Dance like 2 turns ago. I'm not sure why I go ahead and set it up now, but he goes for the Hydro Pump now, and I would have been a sitting duck, and I actually would have been KO'd from the Hydro Pump and the burn damage. So what I'm going to do now is go for that +2/neutral Dragon Claw. Still does around 50-ish%, and he's going to knock me out with another Hydro Pump. Now, this Rotom would have been a bigger problem if I was not able to get up that +2 quote-unquote Dragon Claw, because now I can bring in my Tornadus T, and I need to be able to hit the Focus Blast in order to win. So that is the case. I go for the Focus Blast, I connect, and Tornadus T knocks out the Rotom, and that is, I believe, the 1-0 in my favor. Very close game, Puddles. That was such an enjoyable match, and that's actually what led into the match. I narrated it before, because he was so pumped. He was so hyped. He was ready to just do another one, because he had been out of battling for quite a while. But anyway, great game, Puddles. Hope you enjoyed. Hope all of you enjoyed watching this battle and this narration that I decided to do. So feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoyed. And until next time, Smash Bros. Pro 33, signing out.